Hey there, this is Drip 2 with Bold Looks Makeup and Aesthetics, and today I just wanted to show you what I do as my beauty routine when I'm really tight on time and just need to get out of here and get going with my day. So usually the weekend is when I'm most jammed for time. So here we go. What I do, I've got moisturizer on already, I've got my serum and everything on. So I'm going to start off with a CC cream, and I love the Arbonne because it really does, you can see that. Yep. It evens out the skin, gives me hydration, gives me protection, smooths out fine lines, and overall just gives a really nice dewy finish. And I apply mine with a beauty blender brush, sponge. And I love the fact that all the different edges so you can get into corners. So I've just taken a little bit on there, and I'm just gonna, I usually dab it onto the areas that I need a little bit more coverage first. And then just blend it in. And the patting motion really helps to smooth down the foundation and just really get it on. And I do take it on the forehead even though I don't need as much coverage there, and then just blend it through. And if you do need a little more for areas, go back in and blend a little extra. But I'm happy enough with this. It's evened out my skin beautifully, but you can still see my skin underneath, and it's taken away, you know, that blotchiness on the surface. So that's my foundation on, and next up is going to be concealer. I just actually use a full coverage foundation that I really love from MAC. And I actually use that as a concealer. And if you're the only one using it, you know what? Fingers are your best things. The warmth in your finger really helps to thin out the foundation, and when you press it in, it blends in beautifully. No need to, you don't need to pull across or anything. You just pat it in. And there you have it. That's your concealer. And because your fingertips are warm, it really thins out, and when you press in, it gets into all the little areas so that you're not having to cake it on, and just lightly pat it in, and you're done. And if you need to, I usually take a little bit on the corners of the nose where I have a little bit of redness, and just a little right through here. Now when I'm doing this, I sort of fly through this really quickly because I know exactly what I like, and I just take my fingers and even out areas that just want to make sure everything's all smooth. And then I go right in with the same amount on my fingertips and pat it right through and let it act as a base for shadow. And you can see it just takes away that darkness in the lid and gives a more uniform finish. So that's my foundation concealer on. Next I go in with a mineral powder. Love a kabuki brush. If you haven't tried it out, you absolutely must. It's a really nice full finish, and you just take your powder that you're using. I'm using one by Physicians Formula, and tap off any excess and just go in and press it in. And there you have, everything's all set. Whoops. So now you've got foundation and everything on, you're ready for some blush and shadow. If I'm on the go, I kind of like using a compact that has everything in there. And this is one that's by Napoleon Pedris, and this one's from Nordstrom's. And I love the fact that it has, actually, if you get a closer view there, it does have some bronzers in, well, contouring powder, as well as some shimmer in there for highlighting. And then it's got the peachy tones, which are really beautiful for using as blush also. And I use it as an eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in and take the shimmery beige And just apply that all over. And that just kind of gives a little bit more lift to the eyes. If you need to, you can always touch up a little bit more. And then I go in with a little bit of the peachier tone and take a blending brush and just sort of blend through the crease. I don't want too much, so that's why I use the blending brush, because it sort of just barely adds a hint of color, and then I just blend it in. And that just lifts the eyes a little bit, gives it really pretty peachy finish. And peach is actually a great shade. It complements and really looks good on any skin tone. So next up, we're going to go ahead and use that same peachy shade as a blush. And I take it all the way to the side. And the circle motion just helps to kind of blend as you're applying it. And it's really the same amount that's left on there that I'm using just to blend through. Perfect. So now that's on. I'm just going to actually do a touch more there. Perfect. So now I've got my blush and everything else on, and I'm going to go ahead and just take a brush and just give the brows a good old fluff. And then I'm going to take my mascara. This is one from Ipsy, one of my Ipsy bags, and I'm absolutely loving this. It's by Essence, and you can find it at drugstores, Shoppers if you're in the Canadian market. And I love the brush. Check out the brush. It's got like a little snail, or not a snail, a worm, because it kind of goes up and down a little bit, which is perfect for wriggling in. Oops, we can clean that up later. See, if you're in a rush, that's going to happen. But I absolutely love this because you can already see how much fuller and longer my lashes got. If you look at that side versus the other, barely there. So just go ahead and add a couple of coats. I'm just going to dip back in. Fresh amount for the other side. And I like wiggling it right at the base because that actually deposits a little bit more mascara right at the very base, and then you can skip having to put on an eyeliner. Again, a time saver. And I love having products that can multitask, because when you're in a rush or you need to do a quick touch-up during the day, 2-in-1 is better than having to carry a bulk of stuff around with you. And it's great because that fine tip at the end allows you to get into the very corners and get those tiny little lashes too. So there you go, and then you can just do a little on the bottom. I just do a little wriggle. Same thing on the side, just wriggle along the base. And it's nice doing that because again, you get a little line effect. So there you have your eyes all done, and then you just need to clean up, or I do. A little boo-boo there. And then I'm just going to take in that brush and blend it through again. So that's a really quick and easy look. And then I'm going to add a pop of color. I love doing a pop of color if I'm going really neutral, and it just adds kind of that classy little finish. And I'm doing a color that's got a coral base to it. And a little bit more on the matte side. It actually is a matte lipstick by Rimmel. And if you're on the go, you can avoid, forget about doing lip liner. And this is a color that you can see. It's very pretty. It's a nice, rich, orangey finish. And when you're doing it with your fingertips, you get that very soft look, so it's not a heavy matte at all. And if you wanted to, you can always add gloss to it. But this is really simply the finished look. So hope you enjoyed my basic, 5-minute makeup application. And what I will do is leave some info at the bottom on products that I used. And if you have any questions, just comment below and I'll leave some links for you too. Thanks so much. This is Dripty with Bold Looks Makeup and Aesthetics, and I'll show you some other techniques coming up soon. Thanks.